Hello everyone. Well, I've had a bit of bad luck today. I ordered 7 advertising mugs from an eBay seller. I only wanted one of them, and guess which one out of the 7 was smashed. Yes, the only one I wanted. I was going to give the others to a charity shop. That's sod's law. So I'm hoping that that's the only bit of bad luck I get today, because I'm about to open a vacuum cleaner that I've wanted to own again for quite a long time. This is a Hoover Aquatronic 1100. I couldn't believe it when I saw this on eBay. I thought the bidding would be ferocious for this, and I think there were only 2 bidders, and I got this for £100. The seller wasn't going to post it. I had to arrange my own courier, which is fine. The seller's packed it up fine. And there are issues with this. I know there are issues, which I hope to be able to fix, but all I can hope is this thing hasn't got damaged in the post. Fingers crossed, folks. Now, a long time ago, I made a silly video on this with a VHS camcorder. Probably about 87, 88. I bought this brand new, probably in 87 or 88, from the Co-op department store in York, and I think it was £230, which was a lot of money back then. Certainly the most expensive vacuum I'd ever purchased. So, let's hope and pray, because I need some good news. We just had some bad news on the TV news about this. I don't even want to mention. You know what it is, what we're going through. More restrictions for us. So I'm a little bit angry about that. So in the grand scheme of things, a broken mug, well, that doesn't matter, does it? So there's a lot of packaging. Bubble wrap and everything, so fingers crossed, folks. It's the wheels I'm worried about. Okay, here's the hose. And it's a nice long hose as well. This wasn't actually made by Hoover. Now I think it's the company is called Clean Fix now, but back in the olden days, before the internet, I used to write to Hoover and I asked them, because I knew it said made for Hoover. I said, who makes this? And they came back with a letter, which I still have somewhere. This was made by a company called Spirotech in Switzerland. So Spirotech are now called Clean Fix. Well, that's a different colour to the one I had. I don't know if it's changed colour with age. Well, it could be just dirty. I think it was more of a grey. I don't know if that's, I think that's just faded. It looks more cream. So this is the solution tube, complete with the trigger. And this is the first thing that's wrong. Now I can buy a new one of these. I do have another machine that has one very similar that will fit, so I can use this. But it's not too bad, but look, can you see there's a little bit broken there? I could block that off or bung that up with something. So this is the Fishtail spray nozzle. Yes, this is a vacuum cleaner, but it's also a 3-in-1. It will also shampoo carpets using the old spray extraction method. So that's that. There should be another tube, yes, another wand. Now I believe these are 35mm diameters, the tools. So I can't just put any old 32. I don't think this has got any of the dry tools, unfortunately. If it has any of them, I'll be very surprised and pleased, but doesn't look like it does. Right, here goes. It's a beast of a cleaner. Now apparently it's in good condition, or very good condition. I'm not surprised that it is in good condition, because this thing is so big and bulky, it would be hard to damage it when you're using it, because you couldn't really build up a speed pulling this around your house and knocking it into the furniture, because it is huge. You think the Sensortronics were big? Well, nothing compared to the Aquatronic 1100. And funnily enough, little coincidence. This came from a place in Anglesey, Holyhead in Wales, and it's from a place I had a lovely walk. Visited there last year, I think it was, and I got a picture on my bedroom wall of this 2 lighthouses. I can't remember the name of the place, but it was in Holyhead, I believe. How was I to know that I would get one of the most coveted vacuum cleaners I've wanted? I've nearly filled the collection that I wanted to get, so you know, it's taken me a long time. There'll always be something new to buy, I expect. Parts for these are very hard to get, and when you can get them, they are ridiculously expensive. Now, I have ordered one part from eSpares. I'm hoping they'll send me it. I'm hoping I don't get an email saying no, it's discontinued. Right, well, the dome has survived. The dome, oh, and there's a bit missing, but yeah, there should be a little slider over this, because this dome also holds the 3 small cleaning tools, and it's missing. There should be a little slide, so to stop the tools falling out, basically, but it doesn't have any of the small tools anyway. So, right, there's another thing missing as well. Yeah, I think I've seen that available, but it was something ridiculous. It was about £70 for that spare. That is missing the little flap. This is the float valve, and it rises up as the machine fills with water, and the suction inlet is here. There's a little mesh, coarse mesh filter. So basically when it gets full, the float valve comes up and the little flap closes over. So I can still use it, I just have to be careful not to go over. I could possibly rig something up. So, oops, that's another problem. Aha, right, it's completely missing. Or is it? Now, I knew this was missing. Under there should be a sort of a rubber valve that prevents the water from flooding out, because this is your dirty water tank. The middle part is where the dirty water collects, and the outer part of the tank is where you put the clean water. So the clean water is pumped to the spray nozzle and sucked through the hose into the dirty tank. So this, now that's the part I think I've ordered. There was no picture, but it's the correct description, and just the little part in there was £30. If I can't get that, then I can't use this for shampooing, unless I'm going to see, because I think this has possibly been undone. You can take this middle bucket out. I don't think it's pushed inside, but I'll have a look. But I knew that was the problem. I knew I couldn't use it initially. So fingers crossed eSpares have that part I've ordered. Right, that wheel's okay. Phew, right. It's as I expected. It's in pretty clean condition inside there, look. And it smells as mine used to smell. I'm sure they've used the proper sachets. Used to buy it in packs of 3, little sachets that go in this, and it smells of that. So I'm fairly happy at the moment. Right, as long as it works, of course. Now another part that's missing, which I was sort of expecting it would be missing, just here, this is where the bag goes, and there should be a bag holder. This takes the same bags as the Hoover Compact series, and you've got a little plastic grey holder that you push the bag on, and then you slid it here. So at the moment I can't use it even as a normal vacuum until I can rig up a bag somehow. Now these bits here are sponge pieces, and surprisingly they're intact and not perished. This is actually where the pump is, and this is what should connect up to the clean water. But when you're using it for dry use, you are supposed to take this little red stopper and put it there, because inevitably water will be left in the system when you convert it from shampooing to dry use, and that little red stopper stopped any liquid sort of getting into the motor. I've never understood what that's about. That's a little sprung-loaded doobry, correct term, doobry. And behind the doobry is a filter. We'll see if there is a filter behind the doobry. If I can remember how it comes out, it should lever out somehow. Oh, there we go. I think it, yes, it does pop out. That's dirty, look. Dirty, dirty. But look, any old filter material, Miele filter or something, I can just cut to size. There's no point in trying to source a genuine one. That's a pretty bog standard sort of filter. I'll just have a look to see how rusty the motor is. I don't think you'll be able to see, but yes, the motor is a bit rusty, as I would have expected. So there you go. Right. So if I was going to use this as dry, obviously the bag would go in and then you'd put the dome on top like that, and then it's dry only. It's quite a nice style and very different to the sort of 3-in-1s that were available at the time this was launched. I'm thinking of the familiar orange Vax. Hoover's Aquamaster was also available at the same time this Aquatronic came out. So the Aquamaster was sort of gravity fed, part gravity and part on the exhaust motor air that used to create a slight pressure in the clean water tank. This was the first Hoover branded shampooer, as far as I know, with a pump, if you don't count the commercial versions. But all in all, a few sort of marks on it, but yeah, it's in pretty good shape. It'll clean up very nicely, so I'm fairly happy with it. It's an absolute beast. I used to take this apart. I've had when on my original one, all these come off. I think the pump's located in there, and there is a diffuser behind there that I might need to replace. We'll have a quick look at the serial number, and then we'll switch on this Hoover Aquatronic 1100. So it's Hoover model S4386, 240 volts, 50 hertz, 1100 watts. The serial number, I think that's a 710-04492. I'm not really sure. I think this is 87. I think it says 710. So I think it's October 87. This would have been launched in 87, so that seems about right. Trademarks of Hoover PLC, made for Hoover PLC in Switzerland. And I know the company now known as CleanFix is also based in Switzerland, so this is why I'm thinking it is CleanFix, and also because I've seen CleanFix machines with very similar tools to the Aquatronic. Okay, let's pull out the cord. It has a Laco plug, which hasn't been wired very well. I'm just going to quickly check the wiring of the plug before I plug it in. Well, it's wired correctly, but not very well, so I'll rewire the plug at some point, but it's safe for now. I'll pull out the rest of the cable. It's a 5.5 meter cable, if I remember the brochure I've got on this machine. I also think somewhere in my stocks I've got the instruction book for this, so that's good. So there we go. We have a mains on switch here. The pedals are fine as well, and we've also got here a touch control to adjust the motor speed and to switch the pump on and off. Hopefully it's going to work. Now it should start on 750, sort of midway, and it automatically would start on that until you increased or decreased the suction. Right, I'm still going to step it back a bit. Here goes. Well, that sounds as I remembered it, maybe a little bit squeaky towards the end. if I can get this open and remember how to do it. A little bit of lubrication. I think this is going to be pretty reliable. Made in Switzerland. I know the company that made this make commercial cleaners now, and they are pretty reliable machines, so I'm not surprised that it's working. One thing I haven't tested is the pump. I won't put the pump on for too long. I'll just listen to see if it actually works. So this is the pump button. And yes, that sounds how I remember it. It's not so noisy when it's actually in use because there's water flowing through it. When the pump's dry, you shouldn't really turn it on for long. So that sounds as it did when I remember having this machine so long ago. This was one of the machines I sold in the early 90s and regretted it. So I'm pleased to have one, no matter what shape it's in. I'm just so pleased I've got one finally. And finally here is a bag check indicator that glows red. That little light glows red. In fact, we'll see if that works by blocking the end of the cleaner, see if that activates the bag check indicator. Well, yes, that seems to work as well. So everything functions on this machine as it should, but of course it's missing one vital part. That means I can't use this for shampooing. I could use it, I suppose, for wet pickup. Can't see any reason why I couldn't. Here's the hose inlet, and this is it's metal. It's got a plastic ring, but that's where you put the solution tube into. We'll just show you that. Make sure that that clicks. Nice metal end on the tube as well. Ah, that takes me back. That noise. So that obviously plugs into there, and then you put the hose on. I might contact the seller just to say received it, thank you. Have you any idea if you've got any tools for this knocking about? Because if he can find, now I can source the small tools more or less. They'll probably be black. I think they were this sort of colour, this grey colour originally, but I have seen the same shaped tools, so I could get the 3 small tools. I believe I can still buy this dome, which will include that piece I'm missing, but it was silly price for it. But you never know, I might at some point get that if I can. I did pay a lot less for this than I was expecting to pay for it, so you know. Oh, that's broken as well. Just there, just the collar on that. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Oh dear. Well, I'm really looking forward to giving this a good clean up and a polish. But as I said, because this is such a big, bulky beast of a cleaner, it's very hard for someone to damage it. Now this slides on here, and I don't think, I can't remember now without checking the instructions, mine was a lot tighter, it wasn't as loose as this, but I don't think, I don't know, it might have done. I'm not sure if it is missing the clips, but it doesn't matter. It's got the clips that clip it to the hose, and it's only got 3, which could be right, I'm not sure without checking my instructions. It seems it may have only been 3 actually. And this had quite a unique carpet and floor nozzle for dry use. It wasn't a Hoover design, and I've not been able to find anything similar. But because this is a 35mm tube, I can fit even a Hoover branded. I've seen some Hoover branded 35mm tools. I'm not too concerned I can't get this completely original. I'm just amazed I've actually got one. When I saw this cropping up on eBay, I was like, oh my god. My heart started beating fast, and I was already, you know, perils of being a collector, a mad collector at that. My heart was beating and thinking, oh crikey, if I don't get that, my life is over. Obviously an overreaction. I still would have lived. I've missed out on quite a lot of vacuums I've really wanted to get. But in the end, most of those that I didn't get the first time, I managed to get, you know, the same or better the second time. So this is wrong. This is set up with a shampoo nozzle, but not with a shampoo tank. So to convert it, you'll have to imagine this. I've dry vacuumed, and then to convert it to wet, I'll take the dome off. Normally I'd have slid the little piece off. You can see where it would have gone. I'd have taken out the small tools and made sure that that slidey bit was back. Then inside I would have moved the red stopper onto its holding piece. I would have then taken this to the sink and filled the outer container with the correct amount of shampoo. It might be 5 or 6 litres, I think it's 5, I'm not sure. Correct amount of hot water or warm water and the shampoo. And then I would carry it using the handle, and normally what I used to do is give it a shake as I was carrying it, just to make sure the shampoo was well mixed. And then I'd slide it in to the cleaner. Now it never used to fit. It doesn't fit snugly. You'll see that there's quite a big gap, and they never did. They never fitted completely snugly. There is a seal. There is a seal here, but that seal at the top is only when you're using it for dry use. That the seal functions when you've got the dome directly on the machine. The main thing you need to make sure with these is this is the suction inlet. The dirty water comes in through here. This is the suction inlet, so this is the most important thing. The seal, can you just see there on the suction inlet? So as long as that is tight against this, that's all you need to make sure. So now when I switch the cleaner on, I should be able to feel suction through the top of this tube. And indeed I can. Ah dear, I've noticed something else wrong, but it's not major, look. Can you see that's broken? Bit of glue. Unless I take out a second mortgage and decide to buy a new dome, if it's still available. I think it was something silly. I think it's about £170 for the dome. Is it worth it? Well, probably not. It'll still function. Now, I should be getting, I'll just take the wand, the tubes and the wand off. I should now get suction through the end of the hose, if I turn it on. I am getting suction, but very little. Certainly there's more suction there. I'll have to do a bit of jiggery pokery. I can't remember how powerful it was. I think though, let's just quick experiment. See if the suction's better now. Yes, the suction is much better without this gubbins. So it needs looking at, but it probably didn't. I don't think it was great at cleaning this, to be honest, when I had it. Not great for shampooing anyway. But there we go. There's not a lot more I can do with this until, fingers crossed, I get the parts I need. But I used to love the way that the dirty water used to enter over the top of the dome. You can see this in action. If I remember, I'll put a link to my very first original. It's a really old video, so don't expect 4K quality. It's VHS quality, recorded in 87, 88. I think I spilled a whole mug of coffee on the carpet in my mum's and dad's living room back in the day. But yeah, I mean, it's unusual cleaner. I'm still absolutely thrilled with it for £100, you know, plus what I paid to have it shipped, which wasn't that much. I don't know, it was about £14, if that. But just to have one in any condition, I'm absolutely thrilled to finally again have a Hoover Aquatronic 1100. Okie dokie, let's try the cord rewind, see if that works. Yep, that's how I remembered it. Well, there you go then. That's the end of my unboxing and first look at what I would say is a pretty rare Hoover Aquatronic 1100. This is going to clean up very well. It's going to have a bit of a shine to it when I finish with it. And hopefully, if I can get the parts, I'll be able to show you this working in a future video. If you've got any comments or questions about this unusual Hoover vacuum, please comment below. And I'll see you all very soon for the next video. Bye for now.